Hey guys, so today we're going to look at 12 illustration rare and special illustration rare cards that I think could pop off even more and be some of the sleeper ones that people haven't picked up on yet fully. So to kick it off, we'll look at Pachirisu, however you say it. Cute little Pokemon from, I believe this is base set. So it's been, kind of up and down. It obviously has been moving up since, around December time. It's only a couple bucks. Again, most of these cards, if I was going to buy them, I probably would just look at getting PSA 10s, especially something like this. Even if you make 100%, you're really not making a ton of money. So, investing in the PSA 10s might be a bit better. And there might be a theme in a couple of these where, it's kind of cute Pokemon, right? When I was looking at, a lot of options, there were a lot of these Pokemon that weren't as popular. They weren't big chase cards, but they looked cute, right? The artwork looked cute, the Pokemon looks cute, and they've been climbing. I think this is one that hasn't taken off fully, but I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a $6 card eventually, considering how a lot of these IRs are moving. Next up is going to be Ninetales from Obsidian Flames. This one, again, Ninetales, fairly popular Pokemon. Obviously it's not, a major chase or anything like that, but it is slowly moving up. It is a pretty decent artwork, in my opinion. It used to be around a $6 card, now it's up to $8. This is one to keep your eye on as well. Obsidian Flames, there weren't like a ton of options, but this was one I picked. And also, second one, Scizor here. Again, this is a pretty cheap card as well, but it has slowly been moving up over the past couple months. Again, maybe it pops off, maybe it doesn't, but out of the best in Obsidian Flames, this is probably one to go with if it hasn't popped off already. Loudred from Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift had tons. Like, I probably could have picked like 15 from Paradox Rift. The set is actually fairly deep. It's got lots of these really cool IR cards in that $5 to $10 range. This one has been, steadily growing since release. Came out, it was around $4. Now it's up to around $8. Really cool artwork. I love the colors and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes higher. Keep your eye on this one. After that, you have Yveltal, however you say that. Pretty interesting artwork. This isn't my favorite type of, art. I don't really like the style, but a lot of people, they do like this. This card has been moving up as well over time. Obviously came out the gate strong, crashed down to around $5 or so. Now it's up to $8.50. I imagine this one will continue to move higher, especially if people want to continue pumping money into these IR cards. Next up, we have Plusle from Paradox Rift. Again, this is one of the cute Pokemon, as you can see. Since release, came out around $5. It's up to around $9 at this point. Very nice, simple artwork, but it's a cute Pokemon, so I wouldn't be surprised if this continues to go higher as well. First SIR on the list is going to be, it might actually be one of the only SIRs on this list, Iron Valiant EX from Paradox Rift. Again, this card just seems a bit cheap to me, especially considering like the Altaria is like over $42 at this point. Roaring Moon is $60, $70, something like that. So, I imagine this one could continue to move up. It's a decent artwork. Obviously, it's not a fan favorite Pokemon, but for what it is, I think this card could be worth, $40, $50, something like that raw. Next up, we have the Mew EX from Paldean Fates. This card's actually been, doing fairly well and holding steady. And as you can see, obviously it came out the gate and crashed, but, since then it's been climbing back up. When I first saw the cards in Paldean Fates, I saw this Mew, and it was basically what convinced me to buy the Pokemon Center Specialty ETBs for that set. I was considering just, skipping out on that set entirely, but I did buy the PCDBs because of this card. I love the artwork. It's really something different. It's a very unique take on Mew, in my opinion. Obviously, you have Radish and Oddish, not Radish, Oddish, and a couple other Pokemon in there as well. It's it's a nice simple artwork. I wouldn't be surprised if this card eventually breaks through that $100 mark and eventually stays there. Right? It could even go higher. Who knows? But over $100, I wouldn't be shocked. Next couple, again, next three actually are from Pokemon 151. So take this with a grain of salt, just because if they reprint 151, I imagine a lot of these prices are going to come down in the short term. But I am thinking long term as well. The Alakazam EX from 151, very beautiful card. Obviously, it hit its low back in March at $26. It's now up to around $34 at this point. I am considering picking this up in a PSA 10 just for my collection, because obviously Alakazam, favorite Pokemon. I am, gonna hopefully wait for the 151 reprint if it comes, and try and get a better deal on it. But really cool artwork. If you look at all the Alakazam cards in the TCG's history, nothing like this, right? This is really, really interesting and really special, obviously, with a lot of the 151 cards. But, I wouldn't be surprised if this pushes $50 at one point as well, in the future. It seems like it's destined to get there. Next up, we have the Zapdos. This card is probably my favorite artwork from the 151 set. I mean, it's gorgeous. The contrasting colors between Zapdos, Moltres, the sky in the background. It's beautiful. You obviously have Articuno in there as well, so you have the legendary birds. This thing, again, if I think Alakazam could be over $50, I wouldn't be surprised if this Zapdos pushes 50, 60 eventually. I think, compared to a lot, obviously Blastoise, Venusaur are going to be more popular Pokemon. It makes sense why they're higher in value currently. But when you look at the artworks, I just think like the Alakazam and the Zapdos, the artwork is just so much better than to me, the Blastoise just seems a bit simple. The Venusaur is just a bit basic as well. But yeah, I mean, just incredible artwork. I wouldn't be surprised if this pushes 50, 60 bucks some point in the future. And final card from 151, we have the Dragonair. Again, it's not the Dragonite, which obviously would be much higher on my list if they did have a SIR or an IR card for the Dragonite. But Dragonair, obviously, it's going to be a fairly popular Pokemon. And I'm just thinking about, the Steelix from Paradox Rift is $25 now. Some of these other cards that are just taking off into the 20s and 30s, some of the new legendaries from Paldea Evolved and stuff like that. Like, if those can reach 30, 40 bucks, it wouldn't surprise me if this Dragonair eventually hits $25, $30 as well. It just seems like some of these cards, beautiful artworks, original Pokemon, it just seems like it could happen, right? So I threw it on this list. Not my favorite artwork. I mean, it's a nice artwork, very beautiful, but not my favorite. It's a bit kind of monocolor in my opinion, and I just don't like personally looking at it. But again, that's just my subjective opinion, kind of like this whole list, right? So again, take everything with a grain of salt, but I'm just throwing some ideas out there for you guys in the future. The final one, the Shiftry from Temporal Forces. To me, when the set released, I thought this could be a $20 card. I genuinely did. I love this artwork so much. It's a beautiful card, especially for Shiftry, which we've never really had an interesting artwork for Shiftry in the past, at least in my opinion. It has slowly been rising since release of Temporal Forces. It came out the gate, it was like $2. I was shocked. It hit 350. We're back down to around 320. It seems like sales are a bit less than that. Obviously, these are all from today, June 12th, around that 240 to 275 mark. But again, like it wouldn't surprise me considering where we're going with a lot of these IR and SIR cards if this became a $10, $15 card. It wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, pull rates are going to play a big factor in some of these, but like again, PSA 10s, if you're picking these up at these cheap, I just don't think it can be a terrible investment long term. But you guys let me know in the comments down below if you are looking at any of these cards, if you agree or disagree on any of them, if there's any other IR SIR cards that you guys are looking at as well. I could have made a list of like 30 or 40 honestly when I was going through a lot of these sets. There are a lot of attractive options, I think, especially considering the current IR SIR market. But that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.